Hey guys, this is Nate and this is the Nader Tater channel. Alright, I'm going to show you how big of a sound difference they have now made on these air compressors. This guy is ultra quiet. I just got this a couple months ago. I bought all these with my own money, so this is not a sponsored video. I'm just sharing my experience. So I want to show you with the sound meter exactly how different these levels of sound are between the different compressors. Now, this red one is a little Husky one that I bought. It's about 15 years old or close to it. So it's certainly my oldest one, and it's kind of the standard, semi-portable. It's a 20-gallon. It's oilless, and then it can do 150 psi max, and then at 90 psi it does 4.3 cubic feet per minute, and sorry, it's 155 psi max. But then it has a regulator here, so it's 1.8 horsepower. It works, but it is super loud, and so I can't have that in my garage or anywhere near without ear protection on, because it's literally that loud. So when I got moved into my first house and I had a big barn, I got this big 2-stage stationary. This is a US General, so it's from Harbor Freight. I think now it's Central Pneumatic branded, but it's the same thing. This one is 60 gallon. It's 5 horsepower, 2-stage motor, and it can do 15.8 cubic feet per minute at 90 psi, and it does 165 psi max. So obviously this thing is, a powerhouse. It can do way more flow. It does basically 3 times the flow of this red one, but it's still loud. Even though I have it mounted, this is actually in the second floor of the barn, and I have it bolted down to the floor here. It's still really loud. So I'm going to show you that both up here and the sound of it down on the first floor where I'm working. So now this guy is a Stealth brand. Now Husky makes one, California Air Tools makes one, and they all look very similar. I don't even know if they're made at the same place or not. But this one's 1.8 horsepower and 150 psi max, so very similar to that Husky one in that standpoint, and 20 gallons as well. It does a little bit more cubic feet per minute than that one does, 5.0 versus 4.3 cubic feet per minute at 90 psi. It's a nice compact unit. It's got rubber tires that are solid rubber, no air inside of them. I really like it, and it's getting semi-portable. I carried it, or I rolled it up these steps, so you can move it around, but obviously it is heavy. It's probably too heavy to really even pick up with one person. But let me get my sound meter out on my phone and show you the difference here in sound. Okay, so first up, here's my sound meter app on my phone. And just so you know what my baseline sound is, there's a little bit of a hum coming on actually from the contactor behind this, which is my switch contactor for the 220 volt, because I have a light switch downstairs to turn it on and off. But let's see the baseline sound level in here. Alright, so it looks like it's about 12 dBA. So let's turn this guy on and see what it does. Alright, so about 75 or 76. Let me kick on this big guy. Alright, so it's still about 75 dB. So these two things are about the same sound level as each other. Now if I turn on this guy, alright, now it's officially rated at 68, I believe, dBA, and this measures about 69 to 80. But if you can see here, that I easily reach that level when I'm just talking out here. Alright, so 6 or so dB might not seem like it's a big difference, but it is huge. These ones are uncomfortable to stand by without hearing protection. This one is perfectly fine, and this is really not the ideal situation because I have all OSB up here. There's no carpeting or anything to really absorb the sound, so it all reflects in here. But that's one thing I wanted to show was, I'm gonna go downstairs real fast and show you, this guy is loud, and you know, partly you could say it's my fault, but it's for, you know, having it upstairs on a wood floor. It obviously shakes the floor, and actually that makes some sound as well, even down on the first floor. So I'm gonna go down there and show that real fast. Okay, so now I'm downstairs. The air compressor's over there in that corner upstairs. I'm gonna go flip it on with the light switch, and we will get the sound readings. So let me put my phone down right here. I'll flip the light switch. I'll be right back. Okay, so you can see that the sound level down here is about that 69 dB that this guy is by itself. So let me turn that one off upstairs, and then we'll turn this one on right here. Okay, so let's turn this one on when it's right here beside us. So what you can tell is that this one's actually quieter down here than that one is up there, up above us. So that's what's really cool about this. Now, you might say it's not fair to compare this little guy, this semi-portable one, with the big two-stage stationary one, and you're probably kind of right. But the truth is, for my needs, that guy's overkill, and that's my own fault for buying it several years ago, where, you know, it's like go big or go home. I have it hardwired with hose drills and stuff out there. I don't regret that, but I'm looking at adding on to my attached garage, and for that one, I'm actually bought this for that, so it can be small, it can be tucked away in the corner. And if you look at the ratings here, you know, the key thing I wanted to make sure was I got one that did at least 150 psi, just in case I needed that higher pressure. Some of them do like 120 or 125 or even down to 100, depending on which ones there are. And then the other thing, if you look at the 5 cubic feet per minute, you know, your air flow is really controlled by the size of your hose. And then what this rating here really is how quickly can this pump keep up with that airflow. But if you have a 20-gallon tank, you can go over the 5 cubic feet per minute for a short period of time, but then you're gonna have to wait and have it catch up. So, you know, all my air tools now are basically not air tools anymore, they're battery powered. So the key thing I use this stuff for is, you know, maybe a whiz wheel die grinder if I don't have the electric one or don't want to use the electric one out, or if I'm obviously filling up tires and inflatable stuff, that is obviously used a lot. But then the other places like using the air nozzle to spray stuff off. So I don't really have like a DA sander, for example, that takes up a lot of flow because it's wasting a lot of flow that I'm running for, you know, hours at a time to sand a whole car or boat or something. So for most people, this is going to be plenty, and then I really enjoy the low level sound, and then the fact that it is portable enough if I want to wheel it to another building, or if I want to put it in the back of a pickup truck or car, I can do that with this and bring it with me. But it's certainly not as convenient as a little handheld pancake one or something like that. So anyways, that's my review. I'm really happy with this. You know, I was going to show you this little card here that they put out, you know, and this just tells you what it can and can't do. And basically it's saying it can do pretty much everything with intermittent use. That's the orange ones on here. You know, that's any of the paint sprayers, DA sanders, those ones that use up a lot of airflow. You can do that intermittently with this, and then everything else, air nailers, that kind of stuff, certainly this is capable of doing. So hope you liked the video. Obviously hit the like button, add a comment down below if you have any questions, and then I have product links in the video description that you can get it. Right now this guy's actually on sale on Amazon. I think it's part of their Prime Day stuff going on right now in July. So it's a little over 300 bucks, but I think it's well worth the investment.